What is happening, everybody? See a couple of you already in here. Bucky popped by. Weirdo popped by. Kelly's here. What's going on, everybody? What are you all doing tonight? Had a pretty spastic day at home. It's been like that for 2 weeks now, becoming the norm to have chaos happen at all hour of the night. That's fun. Thank God for hey Jason. Thank God for do not disturb mode on your phone. So when the phone rings at 3 o'clock, it doesn't wake you up. But when you wake up in the morning and you look and you wonder why, you gotta call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. That's far too late for people to be calling other people. No, thank you. At some point tonight, um, she's physically fantastic, Jason. Thanks for asking. But she's definitely very, very confused at all hours of the day and night. But every single one of my brothers, there's four of us, and we've all been handling it pretty well, I think, considering. Um, yeah, doing what we can. She just needs to rest, and she doesn't want to. She feels like it wasn't really that big of a deal, but that's pretty much the stroke talking. So, other than that, though, she seems with it. She seems with it. She seems excited to be back home rather than be in the hospital or the rehab. She has two cats that she's extremely attached to. She's one of those crazy cat ladies, and she just wants to be home with the cats, and she is now. Yeah, that's how mom's doing. Other than that, we should have Colt from Citizens Magnet Fishing popping by at some point tonight. Him and a bunch of his Kratos friends and magnet fishers from all over the place. Hey Steven, thank you. I appreciate that. Howdy Aqua. Um but no, what was I saying? So bunch of magnet fishers who probably talked about it a couple times already. From various areas are gonna come up here. I believe Let's Get Magnetic from New York, Barbara and James, they're gonna come. Um, there's going to be, I think Anita from Madtown is even going. Citizens will be there. The Wallace families, a whole bunch of people. But I'm hoping to catch up with them when they do that. Plus, he lives pretty close to my son. Um, they may actually even bump into each other, or if I end up going up to see my son and go magnet fishing, I could very well see Colt out there. Maybe we'll have to make that happen too. Other than that, not much going on here tonight. Um, those weed lids were pretty funny. That was a very unique find. And the fact that they're hidden in a state where it's perfectly legal to have them, it kind of seems silly. Um, they definitely were strains because they had percentage numbers on them. It's just interesting why they're not attached to a jar anymore. That would have been interesting to find. But that's the type of stuff you find in the Cape. You just find weird things like that. There's no guns and bombs that I think I would ever find on Cape Cod. That stuff all happens a lot closer to Boston, just outside of Boston. I've gone to a couple places I thought were hot spots and weren't. Just gotta stick around the city. Yeah. That one was a rough one. I didn't even get any video out of it, which is fine. Um, I'll get video elsewhere. Stop finding worms. Yeah, those were disgusting. No, thank you. I don't want those either. I've never caught, I mean, I've found crabs and stuff like that, but I've never found something gross and slimy like that. I'm not a big fan of creepy crawlies. I try to keep it at bay. It looked like a night crawler though, from when I don't fish much now that I'm older, but when I was younger, I remember going fishing with my uncle and he used something he called night crawlers and they had just tiny little tentacles everywhere. And that's what these looked like, kind of like centipedes in a way. It was gross. I've gotten oysters. I haven't opened them up, Jason, but I have had them because, as you see, most of the stuff coming out of the salt water is very um, clumpy and full of crud. So you do get shells, as you saw in that last video. I was throwing those were just regular clam shells, but they stuck to everything. I even found a couple mussels, but the oysters I've always found. I found those in Wellfleet, where the good oysters supposedly come from. I'm not an oyster connoisseur being here on the Cape. I don't think I've ever really wanted one, and a piece of cold snot doesn't entice me. Hey, David Wiley, appreciate you popping in here. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to open them up. Oh, and there's Luis. Luis has popped by. Como estás, my friend? Do you? So here's the thing, Jason. I haven't really completely been against all seafood all of my life. It's just my last encounter with it pretty much ruined it for me. My mom, when I was younger, worked at a seafood restaurant, very touristy, in Dennisport, and we would eat there a lot because it was cheap. Um, but so we ate there one night, and my dad bought steamers, and my brain is stimulator from you. That's fantastic, David. Anything that's beneficial to make life better is a good thing. But we had ordered a thing of steamers, and I don't think they were cleaned quite well. And I remember chewing on sand and just the texture of the sand, and plus those particular steamers were real fishy tasting. It turned me off completely. Steamers, good as streamers. Yeah, it just doesn't do good. It's just not a very good, not a good situation. And now everything tastes slimy and gross, so I just steer clear of it. Probably the one of the few. It actually sounds like Steven's on my side, at least with the oyster part. But yeah, I liked those too. I remember them. Yep, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Tons of butter too. But that's the thing, Jason. I don't know if these just didn't get cleaned or what happened, but even with the butter on there, and it was just like any other time I'd eaten steamers. But I had that one bad one, and never again. Too gross for me. Yeah, it's kind of strange living on Cape Cod and doing that. But one thing that when you grow up here on the Cape, you don't think of doing need sleep. 100%, Kelly. And I will get sleep tonight. But yeah, I don't like seafood. I didn't quite wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I definitely didn't sleep well ever since my mother's been out just making sure, plus life. No. Well, you are a very lucky person. Jason. I don't think I've ever eaten like crazy, crazy stuff, but food poisoning was. Of course you did. It wasn't quite an exotic food, but I remember I was in Belize and after doing this little excursion, there's a blender. After this little excursion, um, they gave us this chicken that they made with this crazy habanero sauce. And yeah, yeah, it was great. That was probably one of the best things. Um, I like food, getting food in different countries, but I don't think I've tried anything super crazy. Never eaten any weird animals that people shouldn't be eating. I say kagogi. What is kagogi? That South Korea just had some problems. That's not good. Some idiot punched in some wrong numbers, and I will look it up. I'll look it up on this one right here. It's easier to have me look it up than to type it out, huh? Whoa, gross, dude. I hope that was an accident. That's disgusting. Yeah, I don't know about that. I did try when I was a kid. I don't know, I think I tried squid, but I remember being at this kid's house. I don't know what age I was, but his mom opened up a can of like, um, okay, but it was either, I don't remember if it was squid or octopus, but either way, she gave it to us. And again, I think that was the first time trying seafood since I tried the steamer. And when I ate that thing, it was disgusting and never, ever, ever ate it again. I don't like fish anyways. It's fine. Everybody can do their thing. I just don't like fish. Yeah. But anyways, this spot that they're thinking of hitting when these guys kind of circling back to another part of the conversation is when the guys do come, they plan on hitting a bridge in Boston that we've yet to hit. There is a possibility, um, but then now that we get the extra hour, that no more disgusting than cow tongue. Ooh, there she is, Carolina chiming in. You tried cow tongue, love? That's foul. It's probably behind the screen. I don't think I would ever eaten tongue, love. No way. Yeah, that's horrible. Spring ahead is fantastic. I can't wait. An extra hour to an hour and a half of daylight that opens up all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? We can get things accomplished. Cow tongue is delicious. That is foul, dude. No, thank you. No bueno. This conversation took a quick left turn, huh? Absolutely, Aqua. I appreciate you too. Hope you have a good evening. I don't know if that means you're going, but if you are, I appreciate you popping by anyways. Kind of thought Colt was coming by. Maybe he is still, but too bitter or sour. We're still on this cow tongue thing, huh? Okay. What culture is that? don't know about tongue. I'm trying to think of any other. Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense then. Trying to eat dinner here. I already did. Today was pretty easy night. The night where we gotta do where we do videos and stuff like that. I always try to eat something pretty simple. So we already did that. But yeah, we're gonna hang around till probably about 8:30. If Colt shows up, if he does, it's cool. Let me see if he's still around. It was the first thing that popped up on Reddit when I looked it up. Okay. So Kelly, did you get that video up and finished? If you have, I apologize that I haven't seen it yet. There goes the blender again. Okay. What are you having for dinner, Kelly? Car trouble yesterday. My son had car trouble today, but I think it's self-inflicted of him driving 70 to 80, probably driving more closer to 80 miles an hour. So he's just burning his car out. And he's asking me why it's doing certain things. And I'm like, maybe take a break, give your car a little time to breathe. You don't have to give it constant. Oh, there you go. That's fantastic, Jason. Give it like another week. Easy. That's what I'm really hoping this year to do is once things melt, I want to get on ponds. So I've really got to get myself a kayak, and I've been looking on Marketplace almost every day, looking for the exact one I need. I want to make sure it's wide enough because I don't want to play games with falling in the water, even when it's warm out. I just don't want to have to deal with that. Um, so looking into a kayak, and the fact that I don't have a rack for it yet doesn't help. So I should probably get that first. But I plan to be on the lakes this season. That's cool, dude. And are you using that site that Jason showed us? Not, yeah, Jason, the other Jason. Hmm, I wouldn't know. I can't remember the last time I had one of those. Melt. Yeah, I've been using it too lately, man, and I've been finding a lot of different footpaths because I wanted to do more metal detecting this year. Also, I think it would be interesting to actually find some stuff that's a little bit more interesting than a spring that's encrusted in gunk that smells like bad oil. I'm more interested in digging up a coin that looks nice and shiny. I don't know. We'll see. I've never had much luck metal detecting, so I still have a Vanquish 440 that I've used 3 times, and I just haven't been bitten by the bug yet. I haven't been to the right place where there's a find that makes me get into the hobby as much as I am with magnet fishing. The Matakees Yacht Club, I have been there. I don't think I've been to the yacht club because it's private, but I believe I've been to Matakees. I'll open the Google Earth right now, but I believe I have been there. Yes. What happened to it? Hey, Brian, what's up, man? We are actually just talking about metal detecting and how I really, really wish I was good at it or actually like did it. But yeah, let's see. Matakees. Wharf. It's just showing me the middle school. I know, not the we need the wharf. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where you're talking about. Oh, maybe I don't. Is that in West Dennis? There may be a public there may be a public bridge around there or a public boat launch. Actually, it looks like there is. That must be what you're talking about. Right outside of the seafood restaurant, Jason. Yeah. Yep. Just found it. Right by the Mattakese Wharf waterfront seafood restaurant. And it looks like it's a public launch. And absolutely, that's a great spot. Maybe that's when I'll go to here now that the nights are getting longer. Yep. That looks like a fantastic spot. Looks like it's been there a while. That's awesome. Yep. I just put my bag out there. Ready for everything. I haven't done the gold panning thing yet. Which got still waiting for a time to figure out something to do with GP. He's going to show me how to do it. Because I have no idea. But yeah, that Mattakese one looks great. It's got to be totally public, Jason. I mean, I'm looking around the signs and I don't see anything that says you can't park there. There's a full parking lot behind it. Perfect. Hello, Jay. How are you? We were just hanging out, babbling tonight. Not much really going on. We were going to chat to somebody, some of the traveling magnet fishers in April, but maybe something came up, and that's cool. It's fine. We could use an easy night anyways. Don't have a ton to share. We just watched that video together, and that was fun. I do like magnet fishing too. Even though I say I wish I was metal detect more, I do enjoy the actual hobby. Um, that's why it's my number one out of the three things I've started to get involved in. Magnet fishing is always number one. What are you dropping? Oh, I have people behind me. Yep. So we were thinking about going to that bridge. Those guys, when they're coming, those traveling magnet fishers, magneteers. You almost got me with that, Jay. But no, they're coming and they want to hit the bridge where the Tea Party is. Tea Party was. There's a Tea Party museum on the supposed site. You know what I mean? But there is a public bridge that also goes right by it, and there's two of them. So even if you get kicked off that bridge, there is a street no more than a couple hundred feet away called Summer Street, and there's a bridge on that one. So the history is still the same, just not right at the museum, I guess. Either way, it's gonna be a good spot, and it's one that we'd like to check out. I've wanted to go there, but it's like deep in the middle of Boston. You have to park, drag your cart, and you look a little silly walking the streets of Boston all decked out for magnet fishing. But it is what it is, and I want to hit the spot. So who knows? That might be this Monday. Kind of thinking it's going to be. But I'll go to that one too, Jason. I appreciate sharing the spot. I don't know how you found it, and I didn't. Who cares? Yeah. Well, we've done it before, Kelly. No one really does care, but kind of just messing around. It does look a little silly with a guy pulling wagons. I actually was doing it this week when I went to that place and kind of bombed. Beforehand, I had stopped at a bridge in Boston and was walking by some encampments, and I was just got me to thinking of how I could have been mistaken. Yeah, it was a cold day, and the wind was too much, so we didn't go there. And then we went to the other place, the boat launch, and bombed out there. It was fun though. I do like hanging out people with people virtually. It kind of feels like we, in a weird way, are kind of all hanging out. So even if I am live and not catching much, it's always fun to chat with people and see what they're up to. I do too sometimes, Jason. Um, I was actually driving around Easton the other day, which is right where Buddy is. I think he's close to it. Southeastern is where we were. Um, yeah, it's exactly what happens. I feel like I'm talking to myself, Jay. That's what happens all the time too. But anyways, we're in Easton, and it was right near a place that we had already magnet fished, but there was a historic park that I would like to go to. So as we're driving around, my boss thought it was funny, but I would hit my phone to screenshot because I always have the GPS going, depending on where we're driving. I don't know where we but you can't have Correctamundo. Some people do. I've seen some like reaction channels and stuff, Kelly, that do. But yeah, we're good. Yeah, I don't. Lost my train of thought completely. But I do feel like I'm talking to myself all of the time. But yeah, back to so out there would be cool. And then when we got closer to his house, and he lived in Fall River, and he actually took me to this place. And I've told everybody that I'm pretty picky with diet or whatever, but he brought me to a place that had some really good food. It was a Lebanese place. Yeah, officially, unofficially. But he bought me these couple things that were Lebanese, and one of them was full of spinach. It was amazingly authentic. I haven't had good food like that in such a long time. And the outrageous part of it was everything was handmade and it was super cheap and you got a good amount of food. So not only did I find some good bridges to go to in Fall River, but I found lunch. And I always like to find good spots when we're out traveling. Sometimes we end up getting stuck buying the crap food, but we try to get good food when we're out. Broccoli always does that. Yeah. Other than that, guys, there is nothing going on. What is happening with y'all? Anybody have any good spots that you've been looking forward to finding or getting to that you found? That doesn't make a lot of sense. I have an out of town rule. Yeah. Sometimes you got the go-tos though, but when traveling, definitely like when I'm anywhere that's off the Cape, I will always go out of my way to try to find something. And I don't think I've ever eaten Lebanese food. It has very similar flavors to like Morocco. It tasted very Moroccan, almost with like a tinge of like Greek because they had a 493. I don't know if there's only 7 people in here, but if the 7 people aren't subbed, could get you closer to that number. 493, 500 is an amazing one. As you know, it's a grind every single day doing all this. You're on every Tuesday. I did go already, Jason, but it ended up being like too late. And by the time we left Manchester, um, I didn't want to get stuck in Boston traffic. So I took off. That's awesome. That's awesome, Jay. See that? If we can get her closer to 500 is the closer it will be for her giveaway. 3 magnets is always a good thing, but it's also a celebration of you like grinding and doing your thing and being yourself and being authentic and putting yourself on here. It takes a lot to um, takes a lot to be yourself and show the world who you are and not be fake about it, and not have anything against it. You just are you authentically you, and that's how to keep doing it. We don't pretend to be things we are over here. We're silly and awkward and stupid random things happen to us all the time, which basically is like everybody else, we're just all people here on the screen and until we meet in the real life, which is amazing. So, yeah, just be yourself always. I doubt that, Jay. But I wouldn't want to get on the bad side either. So, I feel that too. I try to stay on everybody's good side. For the most part, I try to be Switzerland. Just vision and silliness is silly. We all love this hobby, or we all got other hobbies that we all want to share. And that's part of what's really, really cool about magna fishing, metal detecting, the prospecting people, the people at Mudlark and find bottle dumps and whatever. It's a pretty cool place to be, um, with some of the most interesting and unique people. I don't think there's one person in here that's the same as anybody else. They're all individuals, and they've all been amazingly cool since I've gotten here. So I appreciate meeting the people I meet. And then I've even met people locally. I mean, there's John who I actually saw him at a bridge one day. I met Jack locally. Met other people that have stopped. So it's just kind of fun chatting with people. And if it brings people together, the mystery of the random crap you pull out of the water, then cool. You know what I mean? But it's an interesting thing to do. And, growing up at Cape Cod or around the water seemed like the one hobby to kind of steer closer to. Did my last That'd be great. That'll keep you busy more than a few times, Jason. You don't want to completely wear a spot out, but a decent spot is good for 2 to 3, sometimes 4 visits a piece. We've had we've got a spot in Dennis called the High Bank Bridge. You, since you've been watching for a while, you've probably seen us there a bunch. They've got a pier that you can fish off of. They've got a bridge you can fish off of, and then there's even like a public boat launch area. Um, we could still grab stuff from there. Absolutely, Jay. When Jason from Motor City Magnets was on a couple weeks ago, he showed me this really, really interesting site, historicaerials.com. And even like as I brought it up on the screen, he helped me navigate it and stuff. And it shows a lot of places that bridges used to be at. They're not necessarily abandoned, they're actually gone, you know? So you gotta actually, if you're gonna say hi, you gotta go in there. There, Talia says hi, sideways. I do say hi. Yeah. But anyways, if you look at it, Jay, go to that site, Historic Aerials. The way that he showed it to me, when it comes up on the left, you're going to hit Aerials from whatever place you search from up in the top. There's a little flashlight. You hit that, and another menu pops up over here. Or actually, look back. I'll have to tag the video, but in it, he actually shows how to do it. It's super amazing. Um, Yeah, let me see if I can remember the link. I'm actually gonna go off here real quick. Yeah. Here's the link actually, Jay. But if you have questions about how to like actually navigate around it, um, I think actually I didn't go live last week because of what had happened from my mom. So it's actually the last live from this one where I talked to Jason, and you can actually see he goes through. So there's almost like a tutorial in it, and it shows you spots like in this town called Wellfleet here. Um, there used to be an old train depot, which means at one point in time there had to be a train that got there. Well, there's no roads that go there by train, so it must have come over a bridge. Which using that site, we end up finding that there was a bridge and exactly where it is. So now I just got to figure out how to get there, minus some railroad spikes. I think the only thing you might find would be railroad plates too, since that place fell apart. And since I have worked out in Wellfleet a ton through the years, I think that yeah, I don't know. I think I've seen them because the building that we used to house the train depot, which I found after doing all this investigation, holds a bunch of businesses now. So I've been a cable guy. I've installed probably every single one of those units. And I've always looked out back and wondered what those big pilings were. And pilings are from the old bridge that I researched on historical aerials. And it shows you imagery from like the 1930s. So it's pretty neat. It might be this color too, Kelly. Definitely looking like I need some sleep. As it gets close to 8:30, we'll probably start winding down, guys. I know we usually go a little bit longer, but I wanted to come on tonight. Hopefully, I was trying to catch up with Colt. We will probably catch him next time. Find out what the heck happened. But with that info, with that link to historical aerials, maybe that'll give you something to do until Shane shows up. You'll be amazed at what you can find there. You can find old footpaths and stuff like that, dude. There's lots of good info on there, Jay. So, and even both J's, all J's. Too many J's. All right, guys, we're gonna take off early. We'll catch you all later.